Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Goddess Guidance. It is me, your goddess, Hestia Aphrodite, aka Hestia Amora, and I am so grateful and thankful for you all joining me here today. If you are new to this channel, please be sure to like and subscribe so that I can know and that our community can know celebrity drama and gossip. They are all cautionary tales that have a lesson for us to learn. And for today, I want to focus on the Ice Spice and Cleotrapa drama that's sort of circulating right now. And if you don't know the full story, please be sure to go into my description and click on the link. I will leave a really great explanation of what's going on from the perspective of another YouTuber, because it's not my job to particularly give you the tea, but it is my job to break down the tea from a psycho and spiritual perspective. So without further ado, here are the 3 lessons that we can all learn from this girl on girl crime. So the first thing, please do not allow this world to tell you that you aren't amazing. Do not allow this world to tell you that you are not dope. And oftentimes this world, because this world is filled with so many biases and so much colorism and so much racism and texturism and featureism and all the isms and the ways in which there is socially constructed hierarchy, that you can feel insecure based off of your difference, based off of just being different. And a lot of us are not the cookie cutter image or the beauty standard that this world wants to deem as the holy grail of society. So many of us are different, and that's what makes us unique. So in relation to Cleotrapa, here you have a beautiful, gorgeous, extremely talented Nigerian woman doing her best to make it and be successful in the Western world, specifically the United States of America. And we know that in the Western world, honestly, all over the world, because of so many different factors of colonialism, imperialism, white supremacy, that there is a specific notion of beauty, and there are specific people who have specific features who will be, unfortunately and or fortunately, chosen first based off of what they look like. So much of this world is colorist, especially the entertainment industry. Think of Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. Think of Cleotrapa and Ice Spice. There's a way in which the fairer-skinned individual is risen to the top, and there's always seems to be a darker-skinned individual very close by who's not the main focus. And that simply comes from a socially constructed hierarchy. That simply comes from this world telling you what you should think is beautiful. Unacceptable. And for the people who are not the cookie cutter image, and honestly, Ice Spice isn't even the cookie cutter image, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. She's absolutely beautiful and she's absolutely amazing. And just to preface this entire episode, I am a huge Ice Spice fan. Like, for real, like, I love her songs, and I know a lot of people don't like her, but I love her songs. As a girl from New York City, as a girl from the inner city, from the hood, I love Ice Spice. And no matter where life takes me, no matter the opportunities that I have been given, honey, I'm a hood chick at heart. So because of that, when Ice Spice came out, I absolutely love and adore her. However, this debacle, this drama is really just highlighting the ways in which even someone so talented and someone so amazing can have societal nonsense, societal garbage, societal basura seep into their own mind and take over. And then they treat other people based off of the shallowness that this world told them that they should prioritize. And that's what happened between Ice Spice and Cleotrapa. For whatever reason, Ice Spice took her light skin privilege and allowed for, and that's even beyond light skin privilege. She also allowed her otherness, her non-blackness, right? Because she is Dominican, she is a Latina, right? And again, I'm going to preface this by saying, as an Afro-Latina, I can say this because I can see it from many different perspectives. She also befriended someone with more Afrocentric features to uplift herself to look better, unfortunately, because this world also doesn't like things that are more centered in blackness. So not only is she was having bad behavior as a friend, she was having bad behavior as a fellow person of color. She was having bad behavior as a person of African descent, but she was also having bad behavior for being a colorist. But again, this is the world that we live in, and this world loves to push anyone who is fairer or of a lighter complexion to the forefront. But thankfully, the world is shifting and changing, and people are able to tell their own stories. People are starting to see the beauty in people of a darker complexion, and hopefully Cleotrapa will use this opportunity as a moment for her success so that people can finally see her, because honey, the spotlight is on her. But again, sticking with lesson number 1, because I get on a tangent sometimes, do not allow this world to tell you that you aren't fantastic, and do not allow this world to tell you that you are not dope because of the nastiness, the white supremacy, the colorism, the texturism, all the isms that this world is built upon. Do not allow that to erode who you are and your confidence because of other people's foolishness. Number 2, walk away from the table when you do not like what is being served. I mean that in platonic relationships. I mean that in romantic relationships. Walk away from the table immediately when you do not like what is being served. The minute that someone starts treating you crazy, or you think that someone is treating you crazy, I want you to get up and leave. Get up and leave. Oftentimes, we in this world look at things from a scarcity mindset. We think that this is our one chance at love. We think this is our one chance at friendship. We think that just because we connected with that one person who's really successful, who seems to be on the fast track to amazingness, that we need to hitch our ride to that kind of person. So hopefully people then eventually see us too. Life is so abundant. Life is so extremely abundant if you are willing to carry that mindset. And if you carry that mindset, you will know that if you meet one great person, you'll meet another. Honestly, you might meet someone better. You met one good friend or decent friend. There are 1,000 other amazing people that you can also meet. There was just one opportunity that seemed really successful, and then, it fell apart. Well, there is another opportunity waiting for you. And if there is ever an opportunity or a person or a situation that you come across and you finally realize that, wait, these people aren't seeing my value. These people are treating me crazy. These people are stealing from me, robbing from me, lying to me, making me feel as if they don't want me here. Get up from the table and you leave immediately. I will never forget this dinner party I was invited to by these group of women. And where I lived at the time, apparently unknowingly, right? Because I didn't know this, because I don't pay attention to these things. They were the it girls of the town that I lived in. I was probably one of the darker skinned individuals in the room, and everyone there was a fairer complexion than I was. I don't see those things either, because I really read energy and I like to connect with people based off of their energy. I'm not looking at them from a colorist perspective, right? And I don't even look at myself from that, because I really genuinely do think I'm one of the most beautiful individuals in the world, inside and out. And what was most interesting about this dinner party, I felt as if I was actually invited, not solely for the purpose of being a woman of a darker complexion. I genuinely feel as if I was being invited because of the privilege in which I possess and that society deems beautiful about me, right? I am a woman of a darker complexion, but I am considered like a black exotical, right? I give off more Kenya Moore energy, more Jessica White energy. If you saw me, I have been described as looking more Northern African, or people would describe me of like being an indigenous Indian kind of black mix. So there is a huge privilege that even me as a darker skin complected woman, my features are considered more mixy. And in being considered more mixy, I also have a certain level of desirability in the eyes of others, right? Because I truly believe that everyone is beautiful and everyone is desirable. But on this totem pole of hierarchy, on this totem pole of what is deemed beautiful, I would be more so categorized in that exotic category. And because of that, these women knew that, and in knowing that, there was a way in which they invited me to that party to humble me, because they thought that their lighter skin privilege automatically meant that they were better than me. And in my interactions with these women out in the world, it was almost as if they were shocked by the way in which my presence took energy and attention away from them, which is why they really couldn't stand me. So I remember during that dinner party, these women were extremely rude to me. I mean, it started off as something small, making it seem like I was not there. And then the big thing was I was in conversation with the individual that I knew from high school. And one of the women that invited me to the party cut me off and took that person I was speaking to and gave their attention to something else. And I was like, oh, that's the epitome of disrespect. And I went and I grabbed my handbag and I walked out the room. And I never spoke to those people again because that was very much so intentional. That was very much so trying to humiliate me. That was very much so trying to make me feel small and rupture my self-esteem, which I worked really, really, really hard to keep high and keep elevated, right? So if anyone is ever making you feel as if who you are is not enough or who you are is wrong in some way, shape, or form, walk away from the table when you do not like what is being served. And the last lesson I feel as if we can learn from the Cleotrapa and Ice Spice drama is we need to consistently meditate, pray for, ask for, affirm, request discernment. Because that is often the thing that we are missing. Because before we can get to a place where we are willing to walk away from the table when we do not like what is being served, and before that we know in our heart of hearts that we are the coolest and dopest and amazing individual that this world has ever laid eyes on, that comes with understanding sight. That comes with having complete and clear discernment. That comes with the ability to see ourselves and see the value in ourselves. But then that also comes with being able to see other people. And the deep thing that I have meditated on when it comes to this concept of discernment is that oftentimes we cannot see other people because we can't see ourselves. We cannot see ourselves, right? And we cannot oftentimes see ourselves because we are seeing ourselves through the lens and the perspective that this world has told us that we are. So think about it from the perspective of Cleotrapa. Here you have a beautiful, amazing, darker skinned Nigerian woman, people of African descent who are the most royal and amazing individuals in this world, in my personal opinion, especially Nigerian people specifically, right? I love them dearly. We are taught, people of African descent, that we are at the bottom of the totem pole. So that's just being of African descent. Now put on top of that, being of a darker complexion. So if you internalize that, if you believe that you are beneath a group of people based off of many different factors, you are going to walk around with a sense of not seeing yourself clearly, no matter how talented and amazing you actually are. What happens if you put someone of a lighter complexion next to you? The world will automatically, because of its biases, affirm the lighter complected person who even has mediocre talent. Let's say you are even more talented than that person, right? Oftentimes the world is skewed in that person's favor. Thankfully, the world is shifting now. But oftentimes this third dimensional world affirms qualities in others. And if you do not have them, this world will make you think that you are second best. So here you have someone like Cleotrapa, or here you have someone who is amazing, beautiful, talented, of a darker complexion, because it's not just her, it's so many of us thinking that we are not as great as we are, simply because of things that we had no control over. So now I am speaking from the perspective of Cleotrapa. I am this amazing, beautiful, dope artist, but I'm struggling with self-esteem. I feel like I need to attach myself to this wagon of this other individual because of whatever reasoning. So I'm thinking that this person is better than me. And in thinking that this person is better than me, I'm allowing them to treat me any which kind of way. Until you realize that, whoa, I am cool, I'm amazing, I am talented, I am beautiful. And then that's when you start breaking out of that cycle, which I think, or rather, which is what I feel Cleotrapa did over that tour. She started to then see herself, which she probably started to see herself even before that. But this tour really allowed her to affirm who she is. And it wasn't until she started affirming who she is, she was able to then see who Ice Spice was not. So discernment requires for you to see yourself clearly, for you to scrub away all the third dimensional BS, to scrub away the shallowness, to scrub away the facades. So that was a mouthful, and I hope you were all able to follow me. But there are many nuances and many lessons to receive from the Ice Spice and Cleotrapa drama, and I really hope that people, us as people of color specifically, and even if you are not a person of color and you're listening to this, this is also something that you can help and aid with, right? I really do hope that we, as a human race, decide to start looking at people, one, from their heart, one, from our heart space, two, from our energy space, but then also seeing people for the amazing individuals that they actually are, to stop being so shallow and looking at people based off of their skin tone and their hair texture and all of this other foolishness. Because oftentimes the people who are the most miserable, especially in relationships, and I'm gonna go here, the people who are the most miserable in relationships are often the people who chose individuals based off of the most shallow reasonings possible. People who are in friendships with individuals who don't treat them well have chosen those individuals based off the most shallow reasonings possible. Because you didn't choose somebody, you didn't pick a friend solely from the perspective of the heart and character and personality. You chose someone based off of features, complexion, hair texture, color, like money. You chose people for the shallowest reasonings possible and then wonder why you're not in the greatest of situations, you know? But again, that is simply a byproduct of the conditioning that this world has placed upon our collective consciousness. And again, things are shifting and things are changing. And I really do look forward to the ego deaths that so many people are going to have based off of the new world that we are entering. You know, so I wish Cleotrapa all the success in the world. And I really do wish Ice Spice all the success in the world too. But let's continue to not be shallow. Let's continue to look at things from the perspective of energy and high vibrational energy at that, and continue to change the world from being this terrible place that it could be at times. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.